Go, Fat Tracker, go, go, go.
The Kelpie Fat Track Pod, brought to you by Kelpie, affordable race products designed to help you stay on track. Now onto the episode.
Yeah, all right, here we are, Kelpie Pod. We've just been mucking around, trying different cameras and stuff, and trying to bring you something a little bit different. It's been a little bit frustrating, wouldn't you say?
It's like a wasted hour.
But it's nice to have Brendan here well, it's actually in my office. One day it might become a studio.
It'll be a studio.
Yes, suggestions and that Brendan was making, and I've got another area that I was thinking of doing, but this is sort of not a bad size space to do it in.
Yeah, just rearrange it a bit.
Rearrange it, some lights, and sort this other camera out that I just got. Needed a decent capture device for it because it's a little bit old school, but I think the picture and the wide angle were good. Just a bit of sorting out to go. But anyway, what's been going on, mate?
Oh, not much. Just really not a lot. I raced Gunnedah 2 weeks ago, and that was the first race in I think probably close to a month almost, I reckon. Real sporadic. So big first big meeting of the year. So that was it was good to get back on oil. It's a bit of a love-hate relationship with oil, I think, though. It's really fun to race, but it's frustrating because I just don't get to do it often enough. So it takes me half the meeting to kind of find my feet again, and by that time you've already dropped too many points. So it's sort of a battle.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that was New South Wales titles.
Yes.
So over here in Australia, for our overseas viewers and listeners, you can watch this on YouTube as well. For you guys over there, we have state titles and then we have national titles. So we have South Australia is next weekend. Hopefully it goes ahead. They've got enough entries, I hope. Unfortunately, I don't think we're making it because the first round of AFTN, which is the Australian Flat Track Nationals, is on the following weekend, and we unfortunately had to make the tough call of what can we do. It's going to be basically 3 weekends in a row for me because the fortnight after it happened we'll be going to Mildura for the Kelpie Cup, which are the banners behind us that you can see. I know it's a little bit tight at the moment. People aren't spending money, which is fair enough with all the fear mongering going on and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What we were talking about,
Gunnedah.
My mind's fried. We're doing
It's been a big day.
Yeah, it's been a big day. It's going to be even bigger tomorrow. So we've got another pod happening tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to. Which you're going to come and join me.
Oh yeah, should be.
Yeah. So that'll be good. I won't tell you who it is here, just in case it falls through. But that would be good. We're getting a few on the roll now, which is awesome. And thanks to our partners, Europa Fencing and Classic Spokes, Wheels and Spokes, and Otway Hydro Blasting. I'll give them a bit of a punt in the other bit that I'll record after this. But anyway, I've got you here. New South Wales, you did the oil. I watched it online, which there's some cool live streaming. If you type in Gunnedah New South Wales Championships 2023, it should come up. I think there's about 4 videos.
It's sort of split up.
There's one that says finals.
That's repercharged in the finals.
Which is obviously, all the other racing's great too, and there were some great races, but the finals were pretty good. And there was a few incidents, and I hope all the riders heal up well. Boothie, Tom here came off. He was okay. I messaged both of them. Apparently they're all right, but you heard some of the news about Boothie. And
he got a number on himself. It was a big off. I was in the dummy bit watching it, and it was not good.
Yeah, and there was another rider who I'm not sure what your name is, or
Logan Davis or something.
Was it
it's Logan? Someone, yeah.
Okay, so hopefully Logan's all right because that was a nasty one.
That was huge.
We don't watch racing for the crashes, but it was worth a watch. That made me go, and
a tough dude to get up.
Yeah, tough dude to get up and walk away. I hope he's all right and that he didn't get suffer from,
I think he raced again.
Did he?
Yeah. sort
Yeah, hopefully he didn't suffer later on because it looked like he should have. And I don't mean that in a not nice way. It's just it was gnarly. He's bouncing across the track on his head, basically. So
it's definitely worth watching all of the racing on the live stream. To find out where that crash is.
to find out where that one is. Unfortunately, it wasn't one of your races.
It was,
and you were leading that race, which was it. So I'm not going to say which race it was because then you have to go through and find it. But what a shame because I think that was your race, and you nailed the start, and
probably the only start I got all weekend too. So.
And watching the racing, the starts. It was actually blowing my mind. Some guys, and I know some of it is a horsepower thing, but if you've got lots of horsepower and your wheels spinning up, you're not going to go anywhere. So some guys obviously ride there more and just know how to get a start there, or just
advantage is huge on any track. I think,
or just ride oil more than others. It could be another thing. I was watching pretty closely and probably going like this to the screen quite a bit, trying to see their body position. That's what interests me. Is where are they sitting? Is that giving them more traction?
In pitches a lot. Like I love start pitches because you see what everyone's doing. And like
that. So sort of analysing that stuff. Some people might think that's boring, but it's how you advance.
Exactly. That's why everyone I like footage, and the live stream was really good footage, and I got Taylor to take a lot of footage too. It's not just because you like watching yourself, it's just because you watch what you're doing, because there's things that you do and that you don't you can't feel, so you can see what you're doing, I could be doing something different there, or I learnt lines from watching footage where I didn't even realize that I was taking such a wrong line sort of thing. So footage and pictures are so good to see after.
Well, I corrected a problem that I had, and I've got it again. Once I switched bikes, it started again, and I'm still trying to fix it. And that's you'll notice in a lot of my photos, if they've got if it's a picture from me, and you can see my right hand side. So basically, you're outside peg most of the time in dirt track. You'll notice my toes are pointing out. And on the 03, I managed to get it that I could, because I broke that ankle when I was younger, and I think that's part of the problem. I can actually, on the 04 bike, I managed to get it so that I could hug the casing of the frame and I could cover the brake. And and that sort of, I reckon that's when my speed started increasing. Because it does something to my balance. And I think it's a bit of a problem, and I just keep working towards it. But without photos, I wouldn't, or a video, I wouldn't notice that I'm doing that again.
Exactly right.
So it is quite important if you can get someone down to your local track that you can get pictures off, or
if they do live streaming.
Or live streaming. And I've got to say, the live streaming was really good. This time I enjoyed it. The only criticism of live streaming is nothing that they can do about it unless they buy hardware and equipment, which gets expensive, and I don't know if they're doing it as a hobby or as a favour to the club, or if they're charging, or how it all works. But is the dead time when track prep's happening, that sort of thing. That's the only thing. But I mean, the commentating was great. The quality of the footage was clear. You could see there was no lag and all that.
It was like following battles and stuff. It wasn't just on the leaders.
It wasn't just the leaders all the time this time. So, and I believe it was the same crew that did Bathurst. So So
I think some tracks are probably better to film at than others, I think. And
and look, let's not forget Bathurst was a big event. There was lots of delays there, and it ran late. Everyone would have been shattered and tired. So maybe that's what it was. It doesn't matter. I was probably a little bit harsh on it, but it was more constructive criticism. That was what it was meant as, rather than
maybe
being maybe rather than being critical. But this time, no complaints at all.
I did hear Rod Jensen was saying that when he was watching it live, it kept sort of buffering and he had trouble with that. And
Yeah.
I haven't watched it live, I've only watched it after.
I didn't watch it live either.
Clear, so
Yeah.
I don't know if that's but that could be, you know, an internet connection or something.
Yeah. Well, I went to Broadford that day, and unfortunately had to come back because it got cancelled, which was sort of good because Sky was playing in footy in Bacchus Marsh, so it was halfway. So it all worked out. But yeah, so I watched it online after, and watching it online on YouTube after was fine. Yeah. So no worries there. But yeah, some great battles. Pro 450 Jordan Dale came away with the win, wasn't it?
Cleaned up.
And did he in MX Open as well, didn't he? Yeah, so that's New South Wales senior title holder there, Jordan Dale, and I saw on social media he said he's been chasing that for a while. So good job, mate.
Kind of. I don't know what happened last year, but he was good in the heats, and I think he just might have got some bad starts or something in the finals, and that track's so hard to pass from that he kind of struggled there. But this year he just got the starts, and in the Open finally checked out, and then Nate Boland on the last couple of laps like really closed the gap, but it was a little bit too little, too late, and he got it. And then in the 450 finally just kind of he had might have been Wixie on him the whole time, but he just held his composure and just ran away with 8-lap finals, which would have been good to ride in. They were good too. Like, you know, it gave people like Tom Herrick and everyone time to, if they didn't get a start, to actually make up ground and stuff.
Yeah, and that was a shame for Tom. I don't know if you're listening, Tom, but you were going hard, and he was fighting his way back. He got back to third, and was looking for that second, and I thought he was just going too hot and too hard, but it turned out that he actually boiled his brakes and had no brakes coming into everyone's favourite corner, which is turn one. The guy, I know guys love that track, but that turn one puts me off that track. The rest of the track I like, it's just I couldn't figure the turn one out.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, it's not as bad as what it is in your head. Like, I've never had any close calls or anything there, but I just find myself, because I don't ride the track very often, every time I go around there, I find myself, I could have gone quicker, but I just it's just a weird mental. I don't know the limits of the track or anything yet.
Yeah, it just seems to me that you really got to hug that inside line to have the advantage, and that's where was it 3 offs? No, there was 2 there. Tom and Mick, and was there another? I think there was a
couple there.
And it's because they either braking too late or
just not much
trying to go on the inside and then clip the back wheel of the other dude in front.
But it's funny, like, you think it's hard to pass there because there's no room. But I was watching footage and going right around the outside of people, as long as you can make most of the pass before the apex of the corner, you're fine. It's just something you wouldn't even think of doing. You keep thinking you got to go on the inside and there's no room, so you're like, there's nowhere to pass. And it's just you got to watch footage.
And do you think what makes it trickier is that it turns into a right-hander again?
Well, that's where, if you try and make the pass on the outside, as long as you're with him, you're then on the inside of that right-hand kink. So
but then if you don't make it there, and it gets a bit marbly there too, doesn't it? If you don't make it through there, then you're on the outside.
It still takes balls to make it pass, and I'm not saying it's and that's just, I think, you speak to people who ride there a bit and they're like, there's passing places, but for me, who doesn't ride there often and doesn't ride oil, it's a hard track to pass on. And there's been times even that at that title meeting where I was sort of stuck behind people, and you've got to be, for me, I was quicker than him, but I had to be way quicker than him to be able to make a pass, sort of thing. And just being a little bit quicker was too hard.
And what about the 250? Because you rode Taylor's 250 as well.
Yeah, so I rode the 250 primarily to get time on 19s on oil. For Taree, for AFTN. And I'm glad I rode it because it gave me heaps of confidence on the 19s on oil. They're awesome.
Yeah.
But I didn't bring enough spares, and the bike was overgeared. So we changed the sprocket, and had to put another link in the chain, and I had chain links. So we did all that, and then I went to put the joiner on and realised that I don't have a second joiner. So we had to change that all back, and so we did that in between a race. Couldn't finish it in between the race. So I went out on the 450, came back to a 250 with no rear wheel, and it was just a bit, I was more annoyed than anything. And just like all these spares that I normally have, I just didn't check the spares kit and paid the price. I was riding a bike that couldn't pull any gears, and I was starting in first, and it was sort of thing. So,
okay.
And, but it was it handled well. It was fun to ride. It was just a bit of poor
gear too
preparation.
tall, so you couldn't get off the line quick.
Couldn't get off the line, and then it couldn't pull any gears anyway. It was just
okay.
which is weird because it's geared for Broadford like that, because any shorter gearing than that, and I'm on the limiter in fifth by the finish line at Broadford. So I figured, everyone's like, oh, Gunnedah's a horsepower track and you're carrying a lot of speed out of pit corner, but it's weird that a bigger sprocket works there, but not Broadford.
Yeah.
So,
well, we found that too with travelling around and going to like Oyen and Bathurst.
Yeah.
It was the same deal. We running more teeth than you do on
Broadford straight must just be longer than you think. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I hear the gearing that some people run in Broadford, and I'm like, I don't know how they're running that. So,
well, that's what I run a 49.
Yeah.
So, and you 47 to 40?
I was 47 for years, and then I went to 46 when the track got real grippy.
Yeah.
And now I'm back on 48, and I could probably try 49. It's just I don't know what changed, but I couldn't run those gearings in years past because I just kept running out of legs. So
it's interesting, isn't it? Whether it was surface or because you've got new surface on there now,
it's changed,
relatively new. So maybe that's what it
one
was.
of those things. Tinker around, and which is not ideal to do on race days, but sometimes you've got no choice.
Yeah, and you were super keen to go back to the New South Wales titles for those reasons you mentioned before, and just to get more seat time on oil, really.
Yeah, I really enjoy racing oil every time, and that track too. Like the race had finished, and I just want to keep going. Like it's such a fun track to ride.
Yeah, I like all of it. Like I said, apart from the first corner, I like the rest of the track. It's just that first, but because I ran off there a couple of times when I went last year.
I ran off there the first time in practice.
Oh, did you?
I was first out of the gate for practice and just overcooked it. On the grass.
And then I thought, I've nailed it, and then you've stuffed it up again. Yeah. But that is what it is. It's probably if we were up there and riding it all the time, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, but like that local, and it made me like I was like, I'm keen to get back on some granite now and just sort of feel a bit more comfortable. And I'm comfortable in oil, but it's just I just feel like I can't push that much because I don't know the limits of things.
And so who did you go up there with? Your old man and Taylor?
Dad and Taylor, yeah. So we just drove up, same old thing. Went to Wang on the Thursday night, drove the rest of the way Friday, and did all that, and then I had I borrowed a big disc off Jesse to run on the 450 because I didn't want to boil the brakes.
Yeah.
So I put that on, swapped all the discs over, and then when I went to put the bracket on for the big disc, I couldn't get the brake pin. It's like seized onto my standard caliper. So I had to swap them all back over again. That was on Friday.
Oh, yeah, had a good mechanical time, didn't you?
Yeah. The trip, or even before, so we took Mum and Dad's car, or we took Mum and Dad's car, just better on fuel. He's got like little kitchen in the back. So took that, left my car with Mum, gave her the keys, got driving up there, or when we got to Wang, I realised that I gave Mum the car keys and that's got the trailer keys on it. And I was like, shit, lucky I didn't lock the trailer. So we could still get in the trailer. I just had to hope no one pitched anything on the Thursday night. Laying in bed Thursday night, and then I realised, oh no, the toolbox keys are on those keys as well, and that is locked. So I had to I was stressing a little bit. I was like, they're pretty basic locks. I should be able to pick it. So we got to the track Friday afternoon and I was trying to pick the lock and I just could not. I was doing everything that the YouTube told me to do. I could not pick the lock. So I ended up just drilling the top one out. Just to take the drawer out to then just undo all the locks on the inside on the other one.
So you have to replace the top one.
Replace one lock, so that's how the weekend started.
At least it's only one.
It's weird. Normally when all that sort of stuff happens, I get pretty frustrated and all that, but that's how it started.
Yeah.
And then there was a brake disc and all that. And it didn't occur to me on the weekend that all this stuff was piling up. Now that I think about it, a lot went wrong on the weekend.
Yeah, so really, you rode bloody awesome because most of the race, there was a couple where you sort of fell back.
Yeah,
But
the rerun of the Rapid Charge was one.
Yeah, but most of them you were sort of in anywhere between
I've got a couple fourth,
first, second to six sort of thing.
Yeah, I got a couple of fourths on the
six.
Sunday. Sunday was definitely better. I just figured something out with the starts.
Yeah.
And that helped. But it was just too little, too late, and that just comes down to finding your feet on Saturdays. There's not enough time. Like if it was a 1 day meeting and they had all day Saturdays practice, then it would be fine. But it's not. It's a 2 day meeting, so you got to put it all together.
Yeah, and the restart in the race where you were leading, just unfortunate you fishtailed a bit off the start.
Spun a bit off the line. I managed to get out of turn 1 in third, so I was like, okay, I'm still okay. I might be able to. But I don't know what. Well, another poor preparation is I didn't think I'd need a new rear tire. Yeah, just because of the way it wore from last year. And turns out I should have got a new rear tire.
Oh, really?
So that was cool. It's pretty much a slick on the left hand side, so I was getting no drive.
Oh, is it?
And stuff.
Yeah, right. So. And so that's what do they call them? Swirlies, isn't it?
Well, they're just Bridgestone wets.
Yeah, supermoto. Yeah, so not American flat track tire, just so you know.
No, that's still good. That was
no, they were bloody awesome, and I hope more and more people start using them and realising how good they actually are. And what was it, a year? I was probably closer to 2 or 3 years ago when they were trying to change. Probably went about it the wrong way. There was a few people pushing for Australian dirt track all to go to 19s and only 19s. And a lot of people kicked up a stink about it, which is fair enough because you've got setups, for the current setup, and people didn't think they would perform as well and all that sort of thing. But I can honestly say the tyre because one of the comments was how well the tyre lasts, and that's cheaper that way because the tyre lasts longer. And those Maxxis DTR ones, they've lasted awesome.
I've only got a new one for AFTN now, and I've ridden. I don't know when I got that. When I first did that was the start of the year, maybe. Yeah. All so far all year on it, and it's weird. And I'd still run it now, but it's still good. So I've seen footage and shots from guys around the world, and they take them down to 1 mil. Like they start off about 8 mil. So so we're going to do a bit of experimenting with that because what a lot of comments you hear is they won't work on our deep tracks and all that sort of thing. They do work on our deep tracks, like Broadford. Had a lot of people say they wouldn't work there. We've had a couple like Zane go out there and did really well on them, and he is beating himself up because he likes to be first, or second, or in the top two, and he was getting thirds and fourths and that sort of thing. But the track was prepped for Australian dirt track, 21-18, 21-19, or 21 trials tire, let's say that. And he was on 19s. So I went out there a few weeks ago as well, and I'm not normally up with Zane and that, and I was still getting sort of thirds and fourths and a couple fifths, and it wasn't doing too badly anyway on them. And the track was deep and pretty slick. For me, down the straight, I could feel the wheel spinning. That was the only. It was a little bit frustrating, but it wasn't the end of the world. But we're going to start doing a bit of experimenting about that. So that was on a 2.5 inch rim with a 140 80 tire. So it's pretty wide and sort of flat. So I'm going to experiment a little bit and put it on a 2.15 rim, which will change the radius, push the block out a little bit, and maybe give it a little bit more grip and traction, and see if that works better in the deep stuff. And I think that's, a lot of people say it doesn't work, but I can almost guarantee most of those people haven't even ridden on the track with them. Exactly right.
So what I'm saying is, with a bit more experimenting in that, I think you'll probably find you could be very competitive. When the track so we're using Broadford as an example because it's our home track and that's where we are the most. But when that sort of dries off and gets skaty, it changes the game again. The 19s are perfect. Are better than the Aussie dirt track setup. So it's just playing around a little bit and figuring out how to get them to work that little bit better in the deep stuff. And I reckon could be onto something with the narrower rim and pushing them up. Because I had that 185 when I first started trying trials on the front of the bike. Then I had the 185 on the front, and I probably should have imported that size because that works really good because that pushes the knob out. And with the 2.15 on the front, it's a little bit flatter. And I think that might be the difference. It might be why it's like it still feels fine, but it's not quite as good as what the 185 was, I don't think. So it's all a bit of experimenting and playing around and doing that with the Kelpie block as well. Rick Wason gave me a speedway cut that I was going to try that weekend. You were at Gunnedah.
Would have worked that week.
Paddle tie might have been the There was a few jokes going around, and actually, I think it was Aaron Stevens.
Was he there? Was he?
Yeah, had what are they? The Osmodo.
Oh, the Motos ones.
The Motos. What are they called?
Hybrids thing.
Hybrids. He had one of them, and I've used one of them. I used one of them at Mildura, and I didn't mind it. And I actually think that probably would have been all right on that day.
On them,
But that's sort of the good thing about Aussie racing is that we don't have a control tyre.
You can sort of run different.
And I do like that. Obviously, if a series is going to get a lot of money from a brand, go for it. So if if Dunlop come up to AFTN and say, look, we support American Flat Track, we're the control tyre, we give you X amount of dollars, and you give that to the riders or however you deal with it. It would sort of piss me off, but I wouldn't blame them. Because it takes a little bit of the fun out of it if you can't manipulate the tires a bit and try different stuff with them. But I have heard good things about the DT4s, the Dunlop DT4s.
I haven't yet. I just kind of I don't know. They're expensive, I know that.
They're a little bit more expensive. I'm not sure about the wear on them because we haven't used them.
I think they're harder too. From what I've felt, I think they're harder than the Maxxis ones. So that tells me that they might not be as good, but that I could be completely wrong there.
What compound was that? Because there's a couple of compounds.
Right. I don't know.
And the Maxxis, I use the softer ones because we're riding in the deep stuff a bit, and I sort of figured that would help. I could be wrong. Someone actually told me having a slightly firmer tyre is better in the deep stuff. So that's interesting. But he was referring to the trials tyres, not American tyres. So that changes it up again. But it's all about experimenting, and that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'll do some videos of it and that, so you guys can follow along and have a look and see what you think and have a go yourself and let us know what you think. And it's good because it just helps everyone, and I would like to see more people riding on 19s, obviously, and just that whole message of I
think I was speaking to Tom Herrick at Gunnedah, and I reckon obviously the 19s talk's been around for a while. AFTN kind of made more people talk about it, and then Bathurst really opened people's eyes about it. I think the how little of difference there was in the lap times between them has made people like, if you know how to ride them, then they're not slow.
And Bathurst was actually good because a good example because the track, it wasn't super deep, but it wasn't
super hard packed.
It wasn't hard packed either. It did get that way a little bit after they scraped the top off, understandably. But before on practice day and that, it was awesome. I was really enjoying it. I actually probably preferred it more than the Sunday when it was a
Yeah.
little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Sunday we went hard pack after they scraped it because of the rain and stuff. Was it Saturday night?
Saturday
I've got
night,
the
yeah.
day. I've got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
days mixed up.
So it's a long day. It was basically 2 days anyway.
Yeah. Oh, we did work it out. I can't remember how many hours we were at. It was 20 something.
It's a stupid amount of hours. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a crazy amount of hours. I'd never been to a track that long. Actually felt like we should have been paying rent. But
Yeah. So,
but lots of let's go on to the AFTN. They're putting lots of stuff out on social media. What was actually backstepping? This is what I was going to ask you for.
Yeah.
What was the chatter and talk around the pits at Gunnedah, and what was just the general vibe, not just in regards to AFTN, but just in regards to racing in general? Was it a good vibe? Because it was a bit of a different crew there this year.
I feel like it was a lot of the same people, just minus a few. Like Jared Brook wasn't there, and there's a couple of other people that weren't there, but everyone else I think that was there last year was there.
Okay.
I didn't see too many people that weren't there last year that were there this year, sort of thing. So, there's a lot of people that I spoke to or even heard, talking everyone was just kind of hanging for AFTN really. Like that's awesome. Already what everyone's sort of looking forward to. I would almost think maybe more so than an Aussie title. Like that's where they're putting all their eggs in that basket sort of thing, and everyone's just hanging out for no one wanted to get hurt because of that sort of thing. So it should be good.
Yeah. So do you reckon that's going to play? Well, let me rephrase that. What do you reckon? What sort of effect do you think that might have on title meetings and on other club meetings and that sort of thing? If it does, if you're hearing that now already and it hasn't even sort of set off properly yet, do you think it's going to affect that or?
I don't know if it'll affect it, because I think most people that are going to race AFTN are going to, they're already racing normal 18-21 dirt track anyway.
Yeah.
So if there's no clashes, I can't see why they wouldn't do an Aussie title. It's not like they're not so different that you can only do one or the other. Like you could quite easily do both.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if they're saying, I don't want to get hurt because there's good prize money in AFTN and
if the Aussie titles are like one weekend before an AFTN round, that might be a different story. But if there's time between them, then I can't see it making any difference to entries or anything. But I don't think it'll be a bad thing for either one. Like the AFTN will still get the entries that they're going to get, and the normal Aussies or state titles are going to get the entries that they're going to get. I don't think either one is taking away from the other.
Yeah, no, that's good.
They can coexist, and I don't think it'll be an issue.
Yeah, we were sort of talking about this the other day. We went on a little pushy ride, and I'm sort of thinking that maybe need to start up some flat track clubs or something, or maybe the whole separation thing is what we need to do here in Australia, and have flat track meetings and then dirt track meetings and not combine it. But I sort of think it would be a lot simpler if we just combined it and people just go and race their 19s against 21.
And I think that's
18s and show them that it can be done.
That's the way it'll probably happen. There's already clubs like Central Coast they've got a TT practice day next weekend. Like there's already clubs kind of not calling it flat track and not trying to separate it, but doing things of a flat track nature. So I think it'll morph, and then people who are maybe just getting involved, they might want to only buy one set of wheels, so they buy 19s instead of an 18 and a set of 17s and stuff like that. So it'll I think it'll just naturally evolve into the two, and then whichever one is someone prefers is what the setup that they'll bring.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look in the rule book, which because there's a certain rule which I don't. You mentioned the size there, which I don't think you meant to be using. But anyway, I'm going to check, because it was probably a couple of years ago that I read it, so it might have changed. I don't know.
Not sure. I've never.
But I sort of, if dirt track's dirt track, you shouldn't be on another discipline setup, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well,
just to suit a track type. But then that's sort of like the control tyre debate, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, so I don't know, but
Yeah,
I'm
no.
pretty sure the rule is stated on the wheel diameters and sizes.
Yeah.
So then that's where it comes undone.
Yeah.
Is where there is no deliberate tyre apart from it can't be an MX tyre, I think, from memory.
Yeah.
So I'll check those rules and maybe tomorrow night when we're doing the pod can have it. Yeah, I'll bring it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, those sort of things go from my mind.
Yeah. So I think the AFTN is just planning on sort of separating itself a little bit. Maybe even bringing in their own not their own set of rules, but like kind of as not trying to like be the same as dirt track, but this is different. It's just kind of like a separate thing. I think that's might be what he's trying to do. So.
Yeah, and well, it's working so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
I'm
which way it goes.
hanging to see the because I'd have to imagine that I wasn't at the first one, but I'd have to imagine that this one's going to be as good or better. So in terms of displays and stuff like that and presentation. So I'm keen to see how that all plays out, and I'm hanging for the longer races. I don't know why. I'm just
No, it's good fun, but do you know what? Like so as you know, and as most of the listeners will know, are the ones that are fans. I'm going to call you fans because we've got a few that, like, as soon as I posted that, there's 15 views. So there's at least 15 of you. I know that's small numbers in the what do you call it? Social media world. Very small, but I don't care about the numbers. It's that people are watching it and enjoying it and getting something from it, because they wouldn't they're obviously my subscribers, and they watch it straight away. So that thanks so much, guys, for doing that. It keeps me going, because it does it does get hard to try to fit them in. This one that we're doing now was meant to be done 2 weeks ago, was it?
A week ago. So
Well, I was going to do it when you came back, but had a conference you went to, and you were jet setting everywhere.
It's a big few days.
So it's taken a little bit longer to get it sorted. But anyway, we're on track now. That's the main thing, and got a couple more lined up, so they should come pretty quickly after. So you're hanging the race. You haven't done Appen before.
No, I have been watching a few videos of it though, and I don't know how they're getting around it, but there's people running GoPros around there. So so
they're on practice days, aren't they? Okay, on practice days.
Well, not if it's a motorcycling Australia one, but
right.
If anyone in.
No. And I think you can have them. You just can't have them.
You can have them mounted to your bike, but
not on your person. No, they're on their bike.
So
they're those fancy ones that look like they're on the chest.
So I mean, watching a bit of that to try and sort of get a lay of the land and that. I'm looking forward to it, and it looks big, like
it's pretty big.
It looks like a big track, which should be good from a spectator point of view, hopefully, and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that he's got, like last year, just from the pictures and videos that he's put up, there's had like some of his sponsors had little trade stands set up. So I'm hoping there's a bit of that, because that always adds to atmosphere for spectators and stuff, and riders as well. So, I'm looking forward to it. It's coming up quick, but it feels like it's taking forever to get here.
I know what you mean, but it's only a fortnight away, isn't it? So it's not far at all.
No.
And Kelpie's giving away the gate prize like we did last year. Just go and buy a ticket and come and watch, and you can win $150 just for sitting there watching. So it's pretty good. So we're pretty proud of that. 2 weeks after, on the 15th of July, we're going up to Mildura and the Kelpie Cup, which are these what do you call them? Banners behind us. They'll be up, and hopefully we get lots of entries in that class. So if you're a racer out there in Australia near Mildura, or happy to do a bit of a road trip, come and enter the Kelpie Cup class. So it's just ran as a class, 21 front, 19 rear. You can run an American flat track tyre on the back, and trials tyre on the back, or 19s. You can run like a Kelpie block front and back if that's the setup you've got, or the 19 American tyres. And let's see what works the best and who's the best on them. And first place on the evening will win $300, second 200, and third will go home with $100. And then at this stage, we've only got one other round after that, which will be at the Harley Club of Victoria at Broadford. And then whoever has the most points after that will be a pro rider next year with Brendan and Zane. And I'm assuming that Brendan and Zane are going to carry on. I'm assuming I can afford to do it. We'll find out anyway by the end of the year. And so that's a pretty awesome prize too, I think. I know some people probably don't see the value in it, but maybe they will eventually. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. We're just trying all this stuff out. As the Kelpie Cup wasn't quite as organised as I was hoping it to be. It was never meant to be as quite in the professional element as the AFTN anyway. It's more of a grassroots series that will give you a bit of prize money and hopefully inspire you to travel a little bit and try different tracks and try different things. And give riders that have gone out and bought 19-inch wheel sets another place to get more track time and seat time on different surfaces and different formats, because they definitely are different formats. As far as Broadford and Mildura are totally different tracks. So
some people who are, especially if they're just starting out on 19s, they don't want to race against 1821 straight away. So
that too. So it gives them a class that they can just ride in, and it will be, to be honest, the times between the American flat track and the trials block tyres are very, very close. Closer than the 18, and the 18s with a good rider are close enough anyway. But as far as when I changed from American to a 19 block tyre, I think there's point fuck all in it. So it's close, it will be close. So if you turn up on 19s, you can expect to do well, and against a 21-19, don't let that put you off. And like I said, there's some great prizes there that we've made a bit of effort to get to you. And I don't want to pull the pin on it yet, but if we don't get entries in that, then unfortunately that's what happens. But so make sure you come along and join in. I know there's a few guys with 19s in Mildura now. Hopefully they'll enter. There's a few Harley Club members I'm pretty sure are coming up. Whether they'll do the 19 class or not, I'm not sure. I'm not racing in it myself because I hope to be filming it and doing some extra stuff for promotion and that sort of stuff. So and plus, I don't want to win my own series. And I actually meant to mention too, when we were talking about tyres before, when I went to New Zealand, I rode on Shinkos. And now the Shinko Trials tyre hasn't got that great a reputation. Like, some people like them. I know Pinky, that's what he uses, and he loves it. So, that's fine. That's good. I liked it the first time I used it, but it lost its edge really quick. But the American flat track tyres that Drakey had on that RMZ, he did flip the rear, so I had a good size. It was, relatively good tread on the rear. But the front, when I looked down, I sort of went, I shouldn't have looked at that, because he didn't get time to flip that. And it was really good. I was surprised. I was really surprised. So don't be shy of trying the Shinko American tyre. They are quite a bit cheaper. So I think they're around 100, close to the Kelpie block. I think they're around 170 for a front and 180 for a rear. Is that right? Something like that. Cheaper. Which is quite cheap. The Maxis are around the 240 mark, I think.
I can't remember.
250, 240, something like that. And then the Dunlop,
11, that's for sure.
Then the Dunlop DT4s are around the 300 mark. Something like that. So gives you an idea of price scale, and to be honest, the Shinko, I thought I was quite impressed. So I've actually got some downstairs that I'm going to try out. from brand new and see what the wear is like. And
bring them up to Aubrey next weekend.
yeah, well, that's definitely a go. But I want to. So currently, I've got the 017 set up as 2119, and with the Rick Wason special sauce on the back. So I want to try that. So yeah, Aubrey. I think I will go up to Aubrey next weekend. It's a practice day. We'll have this pod out before then. So if you're listening to that, that's probably where Kelpie's going to be. We did want to go to Griffith, but it's just that little bit further and a little bit more fuel money. And then the next weekend we're going to happen. So, decided that Aubrey's probably the furthest we can really go. And yeah, a little bit cheaper for a practice day and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Plus, that's where the Aussies will be. So,
plus the Aussies, and I think I'd like to do the Aussies. Don't tell my wife, but I want to do the Aussies this year, and so it'll be good to try the Kelpie block beer and the special sauce cut, and we'll see how they hook up. I actually find the Kelpie block really good. I'm going to do some videos about it, because I have had lots of different feedback. Heavier riders seem to like them straight off the bat because they get the weight on them. Lighter riders tend to get a bit of wheel spin. So that's sort of what I'll address in the video. Couple of little setup things I found that help with that. And maybe this cut's going to take that away too. So, I think as a cost-effective way, especially if you're getting into racing, they're definitely worth getting. And it's not just because it's my product, but they definitely kick ass over a V-rubber. Everyone said that, even if they have ridden the tyre to where they think they can't go anymore. But I don't know how much they played with suspension and that sort of stuff. And it's funny, guys that go from 19s to a 19, so I've gone from a V-rubber to it, straight away love it. And it's no worries. It's a guy coming from an 18 to a 19 that's been using the Mitchie.
Not comparing us exactly.
That's where you sort of get the and they do hold a slide really well and everything. I experimented last race day, and I actually took it down to, well, my gauge couldn't read it anymore. It was a bit, it was between 4 to 6 psi. So, and it didn't come off the rim or anything. So, it was good. And the only downside, well, I'm going to try that again at Aubrey, because the only downside to that experiment was I was on my 04 and it has less horsepower.
Yeah, true.
So, but all in all, it was a good experiment and
playing with stuff and trying different things. You never know till you try. So
that's right. So, have you ridden at Old Bar before? Because that's where the oil round at AFT is.
Yeah, only as a kid on 60s.
Okay.
A couple of times maybe. I know definitely once, but I reckon went there a couple of times because they had like a tri series and that when I was a junior in New South Wales. So, I went there a bit, but it so long ago and on such a different bike, it'll basically be the first time there. So
okay.
But luckily we get a decent practice session and then qualifying and all that. So I'm excited for that too. The practice and qualifying format is that's going to be cool. I'm not a lap time guy though, so I've never been a lap time guy, so that might hinder me a little bit, but we'll see how we go.
It's so funny because most of the classes I think filled up pretty quick. I did see a post the other day. There's some spots still. Was it junior 250 or junior? Oh, it can't be 85s. Might have. Yeah, sure, it was one of the junior classes, or
maybe
what's it?
250.
Might be senior 2.
Not sure. Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember. Have a look on AFTN anyway on their social media, because there was a couple spots available still. But when I'm looking at that, I'm going, because I did promise Catherine that I wasn't going to race in it. I don't know why. It was sort of silly. But anyway, she's sort of gone, you're just doing what you want anyway, aren't you?
There you go.
Sort of.
Sounds like permission to me.
But I'm a little bit intrigued about the twins. I wouldn't mind getting a twin and maybe racing in the twins class.
Interesting to see how many they get for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've
That's
seen
only,
it.
I think round 5, which is the oval at Taree.
Yeah,
Not
but
the-
I'd race it in all the open dirt track events as well to get
Yeah,
used to it.
yeah,
Anyway, so it wouldn't be like I'm just buying it just to do
Just for one
AFTN.
race,
But yeah, I think that might be a place for me.
Yeah,
I sort of feel like I ride weird bikes better
yeah,
because I grew up riding lots of weird bikes.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Like riding step throughs through the dunes and stuff like that, and little A100s and stuff that wasn't meant to be used for that.
Yeah.
So I feel comfortable on those sort of
True.
bikes, and like the XTs and that. I feel comfortable on them pretty much straight away.
Yeah, right. There you go.
So yeah, I sort of think the twin might not be what I'm good at.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
don't know till you try it.
Not terrible on the 450, but very, very competitive.
It's a
It's
stacked field,
It's just a bit different, and I'm not sure if I don't know. I sort of feel like I want to fully commit and just go, fuck it, I'm going to fully commit and try to do the best I can.
He's
But
running it the same way, isn't he? Where like the top, I forget the numbers, but maybe the top 12 or whatever, or top 16 qualifying going to like the main, and then there's like a B class, isn't there? I think.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
That would make sense. What doesn't make sense to me is the top 2 out of the B can choose to go into the A. I don't quite understand that.
So it's like a provisional, is it?
It's something like
So in AFT, each rider gets like a provisional, but they can only use it once.
So he hasn't mentioned about only being able to use it once. Maybe you can. But I think it actually might have said at each round. So
yeah, okay. I have to have a reread of the rules. So if you are interested in finding all the stuff out about AFTN, there's a website. I believe it is www.aftn.com.au.
Nice and easy.
And you go on there, all the rules and everything are on there, so you can have a look, a deep dive into that yourself.
If you're a photographer or videographer, you can register to attend and film it and stuff.
Yeah, I was actually going to contact them. Does that mean if you want to take video yourself and that too, that you have to be on that list, or?
Yeah, that's what I thought. But then I think you've got to be like an accredited. There must be some accreditation you can get to be a photographer because they're in that number. So.
Oh, did you have a look? Did you?
I was going to put Harrison down.
Oh, okay. yeah, right.
So yeah, but it needed accreditation or something, whatever that is. It must be. Yeah, you must just not so any Joe Blow can't go and do it, I suppose.
So that's actually interesting. So Brendan's is it all right if I say about Harrison and So Brendan's sort of Harrison's smallest tool out of action. Hey Harrison, hope you're feeling better. And is going to come up to happen to watch the AFTN, and Brendan's recruited him as a bit of a social media vlogger and film taker and capturing some footage and that, not just of your racing, but of behind the scenes, and to create a bit of a image and profile for yourself, which is awesome. And I wish I could afford to pay for one for the Kelpie team, and I'm going to be doing some myself. So you'll see me and Harrison filming each other at some stage, no doubt, because we do silly stuff like that. But it's something, I don't know how you feel, but I think it's something that's really missing in Australia is riders don't promote themselves enough. And the ones that do, it's funny because if you don't really listen to Tang Slapping podcast, do you? Yeah. But he always bangs on about this, it's the same boring shit, I did well, I had a bad time, I had a bad start, I did this.
That's what I like about like when I watch vlogs of people's I hate calling them that, but when I watch people's like race videos and that, if there's too much riding footage, I skip past that and go to the pit footage, because that tells more of a story about the weekend and how they go about their weekend and stuff like that. That's what I like watching.
Right.
You see the riding footage, not for us, but you see their riding footage on TV anyway. So so watching that on YouTube is more about their personal. It's more of a personal thing rather than the riding footage. So
and we've been talking about it, but I think we will get professional footage of AFTN eventually.
I think there'll be good footage even for this year. Sorry, I should say like a broadcast more than just footage. I think that will come once it's all proven that it's working. And well, that's the other thing. You almost want to push as many people as possible to and I am seeing more and more of it at Australian dirt track races and all that.
Yeah.
Mainly like Queensland and a little bit in New South Wales, but like doing that kind of thing, because the more of it that's out there, the more people are going to see it, and then it just kind of snowballs from there. So,
and actually, funny you say that, because I was one of the people we're going to have on the pod very shortly. I was doing a bit of research and just typing them into Google to see what came up. And I saw pictures of Taylor Street, saw pictures of me, saw pictures of you, saw pictures of obviously Jared Brook, the person mentioned. Basically, not everyone, but a lot. That was showing me people that actually post about their racing, which isn't a shameless thing to do. Like, it's not. Don't feel. I don't know if this is why guys don't do it. Don't feel like you're being cocky or like righteous or anything like that. As self-promotion, we want the sport to grow. Promoting it in every form and way possible is a positive thing. If someone gives you shit, we'll come and we'll put them in the boot of my car. And I've got 2 dams. We'll come fix them up. Don't worry. Because you shouldn't get shit for promoting your sponsors and promoting yourself. You shouldn't get shit over it, because it's what you have to do to, get a bit of help and be noticed. You can't just sit there and not say anything, because that does nothing. So if you've ever done small business or anything like that, they always say, number one thing, talk about yourself so people know about you and know about it. Otherwise, they're not going to know who you are, Brendan, or they're not going to know who I am. And to how big it goes, who knows? It's how good a job you do, I guess. But as sponsoring some riders as well, I notice when there's not, if they're on the podium and they don't mention my brand and that sort of thing, I do notice that thing, and I'm not going to chase down and say, hey, buddy, it's part of our contract and that. If you're not doing it, you just don't get a renewed contract.
Exactly. Right.
So, and you've got to think that way. If you've got sponsors that are on, it's great that you tag them, but maybe do something about their product as well. Maybe, one of my great sponsors is Alpine Star. Look at these awesome boots. This is why I wear them, because, the ankle support, like you were talking about. And who's your helmet sponsor? Fly. Look how light it is. You're not going to go throwing it on the ground or anything. But, look how sick it is. And these blue patches, the resistance pads or whatever they call them. And this is, you can probably get the little demo thing anyway. And I actually got that helmet because of you telling me about it. And I want a better quality. I still haven't paid, like over $1,000 for a helmet, because that's out of my budget. But it was probably the most expensive helmet I've got. But I got it because of the technology that you showed me about it and that.
Exactly.
And if your sponsor sees that they're getting more sales because you're telling us about them, like in a video on your socials and that sort of stuff, you'll get more sponsors, 100%, and they might even throw a bit of money at you other than just products, and which is most commonly the sort of deal that most riders get in Australia. But I think it's really powerful, and I don't think it's utilised near enough.
In Australia. Dirt track riders don't do much to help themselves in that aspect, do they?
No, it's just a little bit of improvement that can be done, I think, on the rider's part. You want good sponsors, and that's what you've got to do. And
two-way street, not just, you can't just be a good rider and then people just throw stuff at you.
No, that's right. It definitely helps if you're a good rider. But
you need that.
But I think some social media skills is definitely a good way to go. And on that, if you want help with it, reach out. And sometimes I'm not riding. I could do a bit of camera work. It's just reach out and ask if we're available or whatever. And or even tips. And the other thing, some people might go, I have no idea. I had no idea how to do a pod. You know, I'm still figuring it out. You know, we've fucked around for an hour trying to figure out cameras, doing stuff. Usually, I have the on the Zoom. I usually have that. I don't actually know what you call it. It's like just
green screen type background.
But it's not a green screen. It's part of the program, and we wanted to do something a bit different this time, and
seems to work all right.
It's working all right. They're moving because we've got the heater on in the background. But no, it's all right. I've forgotten what I was going to say now.
No, so up and coming up, and then it all sort of starts from there.
Yeah. Are you coming to Mildura?
I'm planning on it, yeah.
Yeah, put you on the spot.
No, I was planning on it, yeah.
You're coming to Mildura now.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Another road trip.
But I haven't been there since 2017 VIX, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's the only time I've been there.
Yeah. And so one last thing. What do you think at the moment? Do you think what do you think the challenges are? Do you think this financial shit that's going on is going to slow racing down a fair bit, or affect numbers? So me and you, we carpool together, not because you love me, it's because to save each other money.
Yeah.
So I mentioned this in the Let's Talk Money podcast, which I listened to again the other day, and I could have done a better job, to be honest, but I'm sure you can take some stuff away from it. And carpooling is one of the things.
I've noticed a few other people do that as well. And but to answer the question, I think it's definitely going to play a factor. It plays a factor in everything else. And the first things to go when money's tight is hobbies. So that's.
I hate that word. I hate
I know,
hobby.
But for most of these people it is. It's not many people, it's not a hobby.
Yeah, that's right. And well, in Australia it is. And a lot of other countries it is. America it is and it isn't, because they've got a pro circuit. But they also have that amateur where you probably will have to class it as a hobby because you're not earning money from it.
It's not making you money, so it's
but you know how much I want that to change in Australia. Just when people say it's a hobby, it just
I didn't say it's only a hobby and it can't be anything.
That's right.
But that's the first thing to go is those luxuries.
It is, and it is a luxury. Actually, Catherine and I were talking about it just a day or so ago, and she was saying, so how do we cope? She's a very silent business partner, but she's starting to think more about it because she sees how frustrated I get and stuff when we're not making sales. Like at the moment, it's quiet time, so we won't be as blinged up as I was hoping for Appen, but hopefully if we get the shirts done in time, will be a miracle, but hopefully we'll have some nice shirts on. But anyway, that doesn't make a team. But it is a part of what I wanted, a professional looking setup. But anyway, we're going to do the best we can. And you just have to plan. And that's why I rewatched that Talk About Money one, is because I wanted to remember what I said in it, because I couldn't find my notes. And I have practiced what I've preached. So it's not that Kelpie's broke, but this is a hard time where we've got to watch our spending and watch the way that I run it, so that it does carry on. And that's all
pretty much with people with racing. They're just
So what I actually would like to suggest is that you all buy Kelpie block tires, because they're very cost effective and hard wearing.
Yeah, there you go.
And if you're ready for a wheel set, we've got them too. So on the tire, I think we could get away with charging like a V-rubber. We just choose not to. So V-rubber 19s are a lot dearer than the V-rubber 18. If you didn't know that, last time I checked, a V-rubber 19 was over $200. So I'm not sure where they're sitting now because I haven't done the comparison. But we're holding our price at the 170, and hopefully that makes it a lot more affordable for people to use them, and especially get your mates into it as well if they want to come and try it. It's not going to break the bank, and they do hook up well in the bush and that during spring and autumn and summer. Winter and real muddy stuff I wouldn't bother, but all that other time, if it's damp or moist and that, there'll be no worries.
Yeah.
I hope people did get something from that other pod about money and have put money aside and that so they can keep racing. But I haven't been to enough events to know whether it's really affected it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The start of the year is kind of, for me, it started pretty slow. I haven't been to too many, so I haven't seen it much.
Yeah, well, that trip to New Zealand was an awesome insight. And is that something you'd like to do? Would you like to go over there? And I had a few messages about guys wanting to go over. How do you do it and that sort of thing. So I'm wondering, and please, when you hear this pod, if it's something you want to do, let me know. Just send us an email. I did have an email balls up on the website, and it turned out I've been replying to myself a lot. But so I really apologise about that. I run the back end of the website as well, which is something that it's another professional platform that I'm learning. And I don't know how many of you out there do IT stuff and that, which I've never done. It can get a bit complicated. A lot of those others, like Shopify and that, they're all sort of drag and paste and all that. But this sort of works a bit more on code and all that sort of stuff, which I had no idea about. So some settings that weren't quite right in there. But anyway, I'm pretty sure it's all good now. So send me an email. I will reply to you, not myself. If you're keen on doing some overseas stuff like New Zealand, and I know the guys there will bend over backwards to have you over there and provide you some sort of bike. Yes, you will probably be flying blind. I did it and it wasn't that bad. The first race was a little bit how's your mother, but after that, it was fun. And that was a really cool track. It was different. A little bit sort of closer to Gunnedah I really like because it's so tight and the surface is different too. But that in Moore Park it was a little bit more clayey. So the very last race, which was the handicap race, there was definitely a bit of a groove happening. You could go off it, but it was definitely better on it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that was interesting. Yeah. And I think, I don't know if the Aussies would clean up or not. It'd be interesting.
Good to go over those.
And I know there's quite a few of the New Zealand guys are keen to come here. They were wanting to do the AFTN, but I'm not sure what's going on because there's a couple of big events like the Sam Smith Classic or the Clay Classic up in the North Island what did we say it was the week after?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Was that the week after Taree or what one's in November? Is that Taree?
No, yes.
Yeah. So it's the week after that. Yeah. So I think that's probably changed the game a bit. But I'd like to go to that. But it's more about getting a bike there. That's or borrowing a bike. So if any of you New Zealand guys are listening and you've got 3 or 4 bikes spare, I'm sure we could put seats, bums on the seats. Let's work it out anyway. So I'm pretty sure, is it Central Coast? Is that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're happy to host a round of New Zealand versus Australia. So if anyone wants to help organise it, I'm keen as well. We can set up a Facebook group page or something and all talk about it on there if anyone's interested. And but it's not something I can do on my own. Even managing the Kelpie Cup on my own, it's pretty full on. So but if there's a group of people that are willing to put their hand up and try something like that, I'm happy to be part of it and we all work together and make it happen. Sing out and I'll create a group. Create a group. And I must be getting tired because that felt weird to say. And we'll get that happening. What else? Anything else you can think of?
No, that's pretty much it. Just hanging for the proper season to start.
Yeah, a proper season.
It really is.
Didn't you say that was the New South Wales title? Oh no, what? No, Bathurst was when our proper season started, wasn't it?
First big meeting,
It feels like so long ago,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I keep thinking it was last year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy how this whole year's sort of panning out. It all feels a bit weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully the AFTN goes down really good. I'm looking forward to just being able to report on a series, you know, in Australia, and yeah, just we can talk about points that way, and the riders, and hopefully build a strong following for a fan base as well around it, because I think I'm pretty sure that's one of why there isn't a big fan base for dirt track and flat track in Australia.
Yeah, because it's hard to follow.
With the one-offs, it's really hard to follow. So it's even, I know Cycle News and MCC News and that, you know, they all post the results and stuff.
Yeah.
But even looking that up and that, like later on, it's quite hard to find stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not that good a Googler, but I don't know. Have you looked up results and stuff in the past?
No. One time I tried it was hard.
Yeah. Well, if anyone listening knows the easy way to do it and get results and history and that sort of stuff, please drop me a line, because that would really chop me out. And I'm not going to use that new AI one. What's it called? Chat GPT, because apparently it comes back with some false stuff. There's people suing them already. So,
Jesus.
Some school teacher was convicted for crimes and that she didn't do, and all this sort of stuff. So I think it's good for helping you write an essay and that sort of stuff, but maybe not researching so much yet. It's making that for its own stories, what it sounds. But it's pretty crazy where technology's going. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will listen to other podcasts. One that I recommend having a listen to was Gypsy Tales, when he talks to I always forget his name. I should have written it down. I didn't write the notes down, but he's the CEO of Stark Varg. And it's worth having a listen to that about the electric motorcycles, and it will wipe out any rumours you may have heard, basically. So I won't go too in depth about it, but I found it really interesting, and some quite positive signs there on the electric bike side of stuff. There's also some videos on YouTube of the first private sales landed in America and that, and the guys trying them out. What was his name?
It's come up if you Google Stark Varg on YouTube.
Yeah, it does come up. I'm trying to think, because I thought it was actually a celebrity motocrosser. Who's the guy that was in Metal Militia and all that?
Brian Deegan.
Yeah, I thought it was him, but it's not Brian Deegan. It was Brian someone else.
Okay.
So, because I thought, it'd be cool to see how he's riding. But it was another Brian, and he's obviously a good motocrosser, and he's got a few vids up there, and pretty awesome. The host of Gypsy Tales, Jason.
Jason McCowat.
Yeah, Jason. Been riding one a bit too, so you get his sort of view on it. And it sounds like they're pretty sick machine, and they've got plenty of up and go. So it'll be interesting to see how they come into our racing, if people will race them in dirt track, which to me it sounds like it will be a dirt track beast, like so 85 horsepower. So without having to pay for engine rebuilds and working an engine, is what you can take it up to. And in the Australian dirt track, as far as 4-lap sprint races, I mean, your battery power, and that sounds like will be more than enough. I'm not sure with the 5-minute qualifying in the longer races, so how that would work. If you're a capable rider of riding it at 85 horsepower, which it sounds like you need to be a pretty amazing rider from what they were saying to hold on that whole time. But then dirt track's a different beast than motocross, so that's a bit different. What I didn't mention about the Calby Cup as well is that all the clubs that are hosting have agreed to 6-lap races and a 10-lap final. I hope that look on your face isn't did we?
I'm good for it.
So they are longer. So if you decide that's just the the class that you're solely going to run, you are going to get more seat time anyway. So if you're going to run other classes, which more than capable, I sort of want to do Mildura just to show people that you can ride the 1919 on everything in every class. So but yeah, I'm not going to because I want to film it. So so 15th of July, Kelpie Cup, Mildura. Make sure you enter. They should be releasing that. I'm riding it pretty soon. I'm going to chat to their dirt track rep and just clarify that. And I'll do some posts about that soon, very soon. Appin, if you're up in Sydney, Appin's, I think, about 45 minutes from the CBD, something like that. Come and have a watch. You could win yourself a Kelpie 150 at gate prize both days, Saturday and Sunday. I've ridden that track. Spectating will be good both days. So oval or the TT and or either or. I think you'll get your money's worth. And if you win the Kelpie Gates prize, you'll get like 6 times your money's worth. So worth coming along, supporting the sport. If you're injured or whatever, come down, have a chat with us. I'll be around in and out of the pits. I'll be team managing, which will be my first time, which basically Brendan said you're not going to be doing anything the other day. So if that's what team managing is, that's awesome. I'm up for it. But I'll probably be washing number plates and
all the fun stuff.
Camera lenses and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that because that's our first pro team outing with you and Zane. Under the same pit shades, so it should be it should be really exciting. I actually think you guys are going to go really well. I know I know everyone's had a little bit of seat time there on 19s, but I think you guys have ridden a pretty good variety of terrain. You could probably squeeze in a couple more if you can. Over Zane, you didn't just a comparison out of the two, but I think you've got a fairly good idea of and won't have any trouble. No. So I think you guys have got the potential to go really well. You got a little bit of. I hope you listen to my advice about that turn 3 and 4. Because there is a little trick there happen on turn 3 and 4. So I hope that's given you a bit of an advantage, and you guys are in the top 5.
So there we go.
Yeah, no pressure.
No.
Earn your money.
No. There we go.
Yeah, so thanks for coming in tonight, mate. And we're going to hook up again tomorrow night. Are you working this weekend? You're not. So you want to go for a ride on Saturday? Push bike,
I've still got to watch the bike, finish watching the bike.
No, you push bike. Not motorbike.
No, but I've still got to finish watching the push bike, and then we've got a work meeting on Saturday night.
Oh, listen to the excuses. Anything to get out of training.
No, because I'm going to the gym before the work meeting on Saturday.
Yeah, okay. All right, you made up for it. Yeah. And how did we did a bit of a family, I'll call it a family push bike ride there. What day was it? Sunday. Yeah, and how'd you guys pull up? No worries?
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah. Taylor was a little bit sore.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty cruisy sort of ride. So.
Yeah, because even though it's a cruisy ride, it was still 33 k's, wasn't it? So it's still a fair distance, and especially if you don't ride a lot.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah.
But, and I hadn't been riding for a while, so it was first.
Oh, I've got to admit, my legs were a little bit stiff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was surprised because they shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Because I rode that. Well, it might be because I rode the day before as well.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I was more stiff. What the gym workout I did after that, like a day or so after that, I was sore from that, but not. Yeah.
So, before we go, you've got a couple new sponsors, don't you? Did you want to mention them?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of bringing it back to 2018, 2019 with Thor gear. So I'll be back in Thor, and then and then they're getting printed by Shred Design Co. So that's those two together is going to keep me looking good.
Yeah, awesome.
It'd be good to be. It's going to feel good to be back in Thor. I was with them for a while, so it's kind of a little bit exciting.
Yeah, awesome. So shout out to Thor. What is their brand Thor MX or it's just
Yeah,
Thor?
Thor MX,
Or
I
Thor
suppose,
MX,
Thor, yeah.
yeah, for kidding Brendan out, doing what I can't do. And that's awesome. And there was also the hydration stuff. Are they a sponsor or are they just a product you use?
Yeah, well, they help out a little bit, but yeah, that Rhino Power is it's not just a gimmick. I can say that.
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah, it's the amount of races I did at Gunnedah, and I've been training a little bit, but like not like a totally different person. I for sure would have got tired if I wasn't using that stuff.
Yeah,
So,
okay. Yeah.
Just the hydration fuel for me, just like sipping on electrolytes all day.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference. It tastes good, so it's easy to drink. And, that definitely
Yeah,
works. Not just a
Jesus.
gimmick.
Jeez, what a great free advert. That is that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually I use hydrolytes now when I'm riding. I never did before, and it does make a big difference.
Yeah, it's huge.
And
especially for
fatigue
like
and that sort of
AFTM
stuff.
with the longer races. It's not, we're not doing 40-minute motocross motos. Like, I'm not saying that we're, need the same kind of fitness that a pro motocross rider would need, but it's still a high intensity for a short amount of time workout. So
well, I don't actually use the hydrolyte at racing, but I use it when I'm cycling.
Yeah. I use it cycling too. That's good for that. I actually use it all the time. Even at gym, I use it, but it probably is not as noticeable at gym, more for longevity things like cycling. Cycling and like a lot all day workout, like riding, racing sort of thing. So,
cool. And so since we're giving your sponsors a shout out, I should say a huge thanks to Europa Fencing. And if you want some quality farm fencing done, pretty much no project's too small or big. They do a lot of blue chip and commercial properties, wind farms, all that sort of stuff, but they can do smaller rural properties too. So if you need any advice or help or jobs done on your property, make sure you give Rick a call at Europa Fencing. You can find them on Facebook, online. I always tag them in the links anyway. I've got to get better at this stuff. That's why I'm deliberately doing it. And also Tim and Michelle Loon at Classic Wheels and Spokes, Hotway Hydro Blasting. I posted a picture, it's probably close to a month ago now, the time goes so quick, of my DR head that I hydro blast myself. It was a shitload of fun because I've never done that before, used a hydro blaster like that, proper one. And it comes up a treat. So they do a lot of resto work as well as wheel building, lots of classic stuff. They're into classic road stuff. They've got a lot of skill and a lot of knowledge. Tim's very handy with welders and all sorts of stuff. So I'm sure if you have any sort of bike restoration project or wheel building project, they build all Kelpie's wheels now as well. Give them a bell. They're also on Facebook, and I'll put their phone number in the link on this pod as well. So give them a ring, let them know that you heard through the Kelpie podcast, so they know that their support is going a long way and actually working and getting them some return business. They also do it because they love me and they believe in what we're doing for the sport and want Kelpie to succeed. And it's all about scratching each other's back. So if you do have a business, no matter what field it's in, I wouldn't mind some, different things, like health foods, and because this is another pod, maybe you can co-host it with me, is about, do you see yourself as an athlete? What is an athlete to you? Because I think a lot of guys that race don't see themselves as athletes, even though they are, and they're probably doing a little bit of training I think that's quite an interesting subject. So there's lots of products and lots of businesses that our watchers and listeners would actually purchase and use because we are athletes. Some of us eat healthy. I eat pretty healthy. I have junk food binges sometimes, but my junk food binges are fish and chips because I don't eat meat. So it's more like a deep fried binge. I love deep fried stuff, and like sweet and sour fish, Asian style, that sort of stuff. That'll be my junk food binges. And pizza. But yeah, so if you're a pizza company, we're happy to have you, or an Asian restaurant or something like that, or a pub. I know someone that's opening a pub soon that might want to become a sponsor. We could have a big Kelpie party and opening for your pub, Tony Nagel. So yeah, lots of opportunities, guys, but you've got to reach out and embrace it. I hope you've enjoyed this one. We've managed to bang on for a while, so
as we always do.
I haven't had. Why are you looking at me?
As you always do.
Yeah, as I always do. But look, at least you came in person this time. We haven't got a
makes it
dodgy
easier.
internet service and that sort of thing. We do want to get a little bit more professional, but
Takes time.
well, it's about starting, and it's a little bit like we were saying about promoting yourself and that too. Don't be scared to start, even if you've got a shit phone or just, it doesn't matter as long as it's, not so shaky you can't see it.
Yeah.
As long as it's reasonable, and you'll know if you can't watch it yourself, don't put it on.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. But if it's just, like I've got Oppos, I don't buy $1,700 iPhones. I mean, I'd rather spend that on racing. I buy $300 Oppos, and that's what I use, and I haven't had anyone go, your footage is totally shit. So don't feel like you need to go out buying the best gear and that to get started. Just start. That's the main thing. Just start promoting yourself. Always tag Kelpie in there and say, I'm doing this because of Darcy's words of wisdom. No, you don't have to. But it would be nice if you did. But yeah, so anyway, thanks so much for joining in. We're going to have some more coming out really soon. Smash that like button and share us around. I think I've stole that from someone else, but anyway, yeah, share it from everyone else. Yeah. Or what could we come up with that's better than smash that like button? No, that's the same shit. But anyway, we might come up with a giveaway competition. I can give away a tyre, no worries. We might come up with a giveaway competition, like if you whoever's the best, whoever suggests the best slogan for instead of smashing the like button, what's a better variation that could be our own. So maybe someone email that, the first one to email me something that I actually want to use, I'll send you a tyre. So there you go. Today is the first giveaway. I've been thinking about doing one for a while, so let's just do it. So yeah, if you can come up with something better than smash that like button, send me an email through the Kelpie website. It's got to be through the Kelpie website, and that's classed as your entry. And I'll announce the winner. And make sure you put your address with it too, so I know where to send it. Well, I'll probably reach out to you and ask for that anyway. So if you want to try a Kelpie tyre, you haven't tried one before, or you just want a freebie, make sure it's a good one. And is it a slogan? Yeah, good slogan.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
And you'll win yourself a tyre. Stay tuned, guys. Subscribe on YouTube, Spotify. Follow us on all our socials, which is Insta and Facebook. I haven't done the Twitter thing yet. I don't think I'm going to do the Twitter thing. Is Twitter for young people? Or?
No, I don't use it.
Oh, right. Well, it must be because you're getting old now.
No, I think Twitter's for old people. I don't know.
Oh, is it?
I don't know anyone who uses Twitter, so.
Yeah, okay. Oh, maybe let us know if you use Twitter too. Like, is that somewhere else
sure
that
people still use it, but
you'd follow us? I was actually talking to someone the other day, and they were saying that not to spread myself across too many things, just to focus more on the one. And I've chosen YouTube. So YouTube is where I'm going to spend a lot more time, mainly because I like doing video content. I like doing video stuff. The podcast isn't going to change. It's going to be audio, so you can still listen to it on Spotify, YouTube, and we post on Instagram and Facebook. Also, I will finish very shortly, but also if there's stuff you want to hear about, let us know, because that makes it even better if there's content that you actually want to listen about. If you want to, someone did message me when I very first started saying they'd like to see more, because I was doing track walks and that sort of stuff, they'd like to see more of that sort of content. So I'm going to be bringing a bit of that to you to please that dude and hopefully some others. And watch the Bathurst podcast on YouTube, because that's got a bit of that on it, as well as some talking this sort of style as well. But it's got pit walks and a bit of track walking and that on there as well. I think Brendan showed us how little he likes to communicate on that one. Didn't know what to say. I think I can't remember. I'd have to watch it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to keep pushing them out anyway. Hope you're enjoying what we're doing and getting into racing wherever you may live. Unbelievably, even though I had a big break and sort of dropped the ball a little bit, we still have 12 countries checking in and viewing. So that's awesome. So if you're in any of those other countries, I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're loving the sport where you are and that you've got a good thing going there and you're getting heaps of seat time. So keep it sideways, guys, and we'll check you on the next one.
Yeah.
Go, Fat Tracker, go, go, go.